Hello, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in on this Monday, motivational Monday, getting our week started off on the right foot Monday. I know many of you all probably may still be on a extended vacation from the holiday weekend. So I'm welcoming you all in on this Monday night. I usually try to go on around 8 p.m., but I had some things come up and I was running errands. And I said, you know what? I'm still going to come. It's going to just be a little bit later. And I am here. So, hello, everybody. Welcome in to Video Cliff Notes for Entrepreneurs. I'm your girl, Sane Batay Mitchell, also known as Savvy Sane in these digital streets, y'all. Here to help you continue to actually rock your tech and rock your biz with confidence. So I keep it savagely savvy and simple so that you can rock your tech and rock your biz. Okay? So yes, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you all for joining in. My entrepreneurs, we're here to really just connect. So if you do have a business, if you have a hobby, if you're doing anything in these digital streets, if you're just out here representing, giving some motivation or inspiration, share what it is that you do and how people can find you. Drop the name of your business, drop your, if you have links, drop your links. We're here to connect and be able to also collaborate. So thank you all for joining in. So I'm going to get started. We right now are reviewing, if this is your first time here, we've been reviewing the book called The One Thing. It's called The One Thing, and it's by Gary Keller. So we are probably at, let's see, we're at around chapters 13. Yeah, chapters 13 and 14. That's what we're going to be covering today. Chapters 13 and 14, y'all. So chapter 13 is called Live with Purpose. So we're talking about what is the one thing that we could do to be able to get extraordinary results, right? To be able to help people get unstuck. So many people get unstuck. So many people are even just say unhappy in life, right? Well, how can we try to move along? How can we try to get things going to kind of get out of that funk, really, right? And so this is where, of course, we always hear about what is your purpose? And some people may even say, I don't even know what my purpose is, and we have so much things we're trying to be in pursuit of. And that's the thing. Sometimes we need to just stop because we're in a evolving this cycle of trying to accomplish and reach something. We don't even know what we're reaching. And so most people always say they want happiness, and nobody can even really say what is the happiness. Even when they say when it comes to money, and so how much will make you happy? And they're like, I don't know. Do you know what will make you happy? What's the one thing? I want y'all to start dropping it into the comments. Thank you for joining in, Anime and Carlston, over my TikTok family. I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So thank you so much for joining in. Tell me, Anime, what will make you happy right now? What one thing in life that you could do that would bring happiness to you? I want you all to drop that wherever you are. And so it just kind of makes you to think, right? We need to have those kind of even conversations, even with ourselves. Sometimes people literally wake up every day and they're just going, working, paying bills, going to school, taking care of family, your kids, husband, wife, significant others, getting into it, and you're not happy. You don't even have time to stop and think what is there to make you happy. And so that's where at least I feel like, chapter 13, live with purpose. Those are like some of the first questions to really kind of ask, because it starts to talk about, well, where in your life is going to create this transformation? Like sometimes we have been through a lot, right? I think almost everyone can testify there's a few people out here who's had sheltered lives and or fortunate. I ain't gonna say sheltered. Don't think I'm not trying to offend nobody, but you ain't been through nothing, right? You've been blessed, taken care of, haven't experienced anything really traumatic outside of maybe what you hear on the news and maybe that affected you. But then you have a lot of people too that have been through some really really horrible situations, right? And so those type of things. You said my mom. Okay, yeah. So blessings to you, Anime. Anime says her happiness will be that her mom would not have cancer. And so definitely, my heart goes out to you, your mom, and that unless, of course bring positivity. Um that yes, of course, no, I don't want anybody to have cancer, and especially yes, your mom. So most definitely, yeah, that's very hard to deal with, right? So sometimes though, it's things like we're saying, well, there might be somebody out here who could possibly go to school and start to find other cures or other ways to help people to be able to recover from certain illnesses, right? But maybe they're sitting here and they don't even know how to go forward. We are talented, like we are human beings. We have so many different talents and skills, but sometimes we are afraid of even success, or we are even just we have a fear to even know what to do next. Sometimes we're even afraid because these other human beings done scared the hell out of us. Oops, excuse me, the heck out of us, and we are even scared to ask for help. I don't know. Has anybody ever been in that situation? You're just afraid. You're afraid to ask for help, or you just don't even know who to ask for help. And so those are the things where it's like, well, what do we do next, right? So the thing is, we have access, especially now in these digital spaces, to be able to reach out. And yes, you might get some no's when you're trying to search for your answer. And that's the thing. We all have a question, and we all have to have these questions answered to be able to move forward. And so, whatever that may be, right? So, wherever you are, it's really reaching out and trying to find and connect to someone who can actually solve or answer the questions that we have, right? Because guess what? They have the experience, they have the knowledge because they may have already been where you're trying to go. And even if what you have in your mind is completely different from what anybody else has done, there's still some similarities of things such as habits or even certain parts of your accomplishments that or achievements that you're trying to reach towards that somebody else can also be able to help you with. So that's the first thing is really, really defining what it is that you really want and really now doing that research and figuring out, well, who can I connect with to find those answers. And so I'm kind of looking over at my some of my notes from chapter 13. So chapter 13, like I said, was called Live with Purpose. And they talked about, having happiness on purpose. You're like, how do you have happiness on purpose? That's like really pretty deep to me. For me, I wake up and I try to just be in a happy mood. Like I like the feeling, of happiness. It gives you this whole different energy, and so when people come to you or come in your space and they like are opposite and they kind of cause havoc, then it gets me out of that my happiness, right? And it causes me to not have the mindset that I need to even focus on things that I really are really important. And so something like that is really really important for me to maintain even my happiness or just my energy, I'll say, right? So that's my personal pursuit. And they used a story about the begging bowl. I don't know if you've heard of the begging bowl, but it was talking about a king and a beggar. And so the beggar and the king were having a conversation, and he was like, hey, the king's like, hey, I have everything, I can do everything. He was like, well, if you can do everything, can you fill my bowl? And so the king was like, oh, sure, I can take care of that. So he started to put everything in there, all the money, all his gold, all his pearls, everything of value. And every time he put something there, the bowl remained empty. And he was like, I don't understand this. He was like, I have so much. I'm going to keep playing. So he kept playing until almost he was depleted. And he still couldn't understand. He kept looking in and the bowl was empty. And he said, why? He's like, I'm done. I give up. You won. And he said, but just fulfill my one question. How is it that I put almost everything into this bowl and it still remains empty? He said, because he said, this bowl is made of human desire. So that teaches us what? That human desire, it can never really be fulfilled, right? That desire. But there are things that we can still pursue, especially when we find a purpose and we actually can focus on it. And so that's where it's finding out too. What's the next thing? You know, a lot of times we're on, remember I said the cycle, we're on a search of what's the next thing that's going to make us happy. And a lot of times we look at physical things, right? And so, and we look at even sometimes even how circumstances affect it. So that is the main thing, is that we get into that cycle of, they say, acquiring and achieving, and then achieving and acquiring, and sometimes we don't even stop to celebrate the achievements that we actually acquired or the requirements. Like we just so used to just going, gaining, as if, you know, not really taking it for granted. Can anybody relate to that? I know I can. I'm gonna be honest. I've been to the point where I was like trying to accomplish things and not even realizing I was able to accomplish these little things along the way, but I was so focused on these other, like the bigger goals, I didn't even stop to think about the little things that I was able to do. And then when it was time, like I had a moment, especially during COVID, you know, you have a moment to kind of sit when the world kind of stopped. You sit and you're like, wow, you know, I was able to accomplish that. That's pretty awesome, you know. So sometimes we have to just stop and just kind of take a review, you know, of the things that we've been through or things that we've been able to accomplish and really appreciate it. And so that is that positive emotion that kind of connects to that. So there's 5 factors that they said that kind of relate to how to build up this happiness. It's positive emotion and pleasure, relationships, achievements, engagement, and meaning. Okay, so those are the 5 factors. And so those are the things that they said, will fulfill our bigger purpose. And the 2 most important out of those 5 are engagement and meaning. So meaning is like engagement means the way we have to be in action. We have to be able to create this momentum. And then we have to have a meaning for everything that we do. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. But yes, definitely. This is something that we have to really focus on. So it's like they mentioned on in there the power, and I mean I love when I hear the word power, because power just has power, right? But it's like the power of purpose. So we always talk about even just purpose itself being powerful, but when you just put that in front of it, it just means something different, right? The power of purpose. It carries a huge amount of strength. And so it's really kind of going to start to ask yourself, what matters to you? What matters to you the most? I don't even know. Have you ever asked yourself what matters to you the most? Because sometimes the world puts these demands on us. We got to do this. We got to answer to this or whatever. But what matters to you the most? I want y'all to sit there for a minute and just think about that. Drop that into the comments. What matters to you the most? And not even that, not even, or once we even think about what matters to us the most, the next part is really now what daily actions can I start to take towards what matters to me the most? All right. And so what happens is it starts to develop our mind to even kind of make decisions even a little bit faster when we really start thinking about these things. And so I don't know if you all always say, you know, or have like a notebook, but I had stopped writing in my notebook for a long time. I'm trying to look around. I have notebooks everywhere usually. And so I carry a notebook around now, like multiple. Matter of fact, I have like a whole cabinet over here like full of just notebooks I just bought during like school time. And so I keep just empty notebooks around because I never know. But the thing is, sometimes we need to write it down. We have to write down those things that we want to be able to accomplish, because sometimes they can get away from us and we got to revisit them and be able to now start to put those actions, like I said, into play of how to accomplish those things that we really want. I mean, how to put action towards the things that we really want. And because that helps us to be able to pick a direction and then just stay focused. And that's the thing. Sometimes we get so distracted in life, we get unfocused, and then that unfocused causes us to get balanced. Because balance makes you actually like not really stand still, right? So we get unbalanced. So when we get unbalanced, it's like that's really actually something that we have to do, because we can't really be equal and stay in one space. We have to, real balance is really gonna pivot us back and forth in between different things. Why? Because we can only focus on one thing at a time. And so we have to be able to pick a direction and really stick to it and go forward. So, and then not have any regrets. Don't have any regrets. Be unapologetic about it. Because guess what? You can always change your mind. That's a good thing. Just because you stick to something or you want to accomplish it today doesn't mean you can't change your mind. But you really need to put the time in and really put in the effort in and the action in to be able to get to a goal, to even say that this is not attainable or is attainable. Okay. So um the one thing that really kind of stuck out to me that was like really really deep was when they started going to about goal setting, right? So of course we get distracted a lot with when it comes to things that may take time, right? It's not that we can't do it. We see other people doing it and we think, especially now in today's life, we think everything should be instant and like microwave, right? Microwave answers, and that's just not how it works. Things happen in time. And so the same thing with our future, right? We want to have this big future. Well, the thing is, it takes time to create something big, right? Just like a snowball. Snowball starts off with as a snowflake. It has to keep rolling and growing and building on each other, right? And be able to grow. And so the same thing with our goals, the goals that we even dream about. It doesn't have to be a dream, it can be accomplished, but it's going to take us to really focus in. And so that's where it starts to talk about, well, we have to set the goals in place to be able to get to reach those accomplishments. And they said your big goals, or we'll start off big, but you have to be able to ask that one focus question. We talked about focus questions the other day. So it's, what is that one thing I want to do someday, right? What is that one thing I want to do someday? That's where it starts off with. And that seems that's really, really broad. So then it kind of, you hone it down and says, what is the one thing I can do in the next 5 years? And then you keep going down a little bit deeper. What is the one thing I want to do in the next year to reach my goal? What is the one thing I can do in the next month to achieve my goal? Right? Then it goes down. What is the one thing I can do to stay on track to achieve my goal in 1 week? What is the one thing that I can be on track to achieve my goal in 1 day? And then it's, what can I do right now? What can I do right now to be able to stay on track, to be able to achieve my goal today? All right. So that's where we're trying to get to. You start off, yeah, it's going to sound big, because the thing is, if we talk about what's going to happen in the future, it's too far away and we can't stay focused. That's just bottom line. So this is why most people don't reach their goals. It's too far away. So we have to be able to now bring it closer, bring it to the moment that we're in right now. And then that way we can really focus on it. Like I was sharing yesterday that's something that I did even yesterday. I said, you know what? I needed to scrub underneath my little breakfast table that was close to the window, because like the pollen was coming in, and I guess like, the dust has settled, and I was like, okay. But then when I went over there, I needed to not just I moved the chairs out the way. Then the chairs was in the living room, and I was like, okay, well, it's too much work. Like I looked at it. Uh-oh. I looked at it and it was too much work to me at the time. I was like, oh no, I gotta move the chairs now, and I gotta not just scrub just worry about scrubbing the floor. I gotta clean out the window sills. Then I looked at the window sills. I was like, now I gotta clean the windows. No, now I gotta clean the blinds. Now I gotta clean the baseboards, right? Before I can even get back to the floor. And so those are the things. I'm sorry, my Instagram people, I forgot my phone is dying. Someone tried to call me. But yeah, so those are the things that we have to now be able to, like I said, really, really focus in on it. So I said, okay, well, let me just say, what could I do? And this is what I asked myself. I did these same questions. I said, what can I do today to move me forward to accomplishing cleaning the floor? So I said, I'm gonna start off with the blinds, and that's all I'll focus on. Let's clean the blinds. Well, I had momentum then. I was like, all right, I'm pumped. Clean the blinds, then I cleaned the windows, then I cleaned the window sills, then I ended up cleaning the baseboard, y'all. Then I got the floor clean, and it was done. All this time agonizing over the last week. The chairs now they was in the way in the living room, going around them. We started pulling, clothes and stuff on it, walking in, putting keys on it. I'm like, no. Now this is even getting more chaotic. So what is that one thing that we can do each day to achieve something that we really want, where it doesn't seem so overwhelming? And so that's what that chapters 13, 14 were about. So what I want you all to do is start to visualize what it is that you want to be able to accomplish. And not only that, write it down. Start writing it down. And then what we're going to start doing is going in one day, like one day at a time. You're going to break it down from your overall goals in life that you want to be able to achieve. Start breaking that down to 5 years. Then you break it down 1 year. We're going to break it down even more. 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, and then what can I do right now? And so when we look at it like that and start taking it little bit, bites by bites, because that's really all we can handle. Real talk, right? That's all we can handle, these little bitty micro bites, y'all. Because when it gets too far or gets out of reach, we can't focus on it because we can't see it. They even used an example of someone said, hey, I'll give you $100 today, or I'll give you $200 next year. And what do you think most people did? Y'all drop that in the comments. What do you think the person chose? Take the $100 now or take $200 next year? Right? And the reason why they chose this, and y'all already know what they chose. They wanted the money now, right? And that's because we can't really grab hold of something we couldn't see in the future. We don't know what is too many obstacles that we can come up with and create, or why we can't wait to get even a bigger grand prize, right? Our big goals that we want, it's hard to really be able to see it. So that's what we need to do, is to be able to kind of really visualize what it is that we're trying to accomplish, so we can get unstuck, so we can move, so you guys can be unleashed and be that powerful people that you are in this world, to be able to solve problems and fix things, right? That other people need. People need you all and need us to be able to show up. And like I said, I'm guilty of that too, being stuck and not even knowing what is my next step. And that's why I say, you know what? We're doing video cliff notes for entrepreneurs to help people just keep moving forward, connecting us, bringing us together right now in these kind of conversations also helps us to keep moving forward. So that's what we need. Those are the solutions, to be able to collaborate, to be able to start research, right? Asking people questions. That's what I said when everybody first come in. I said, drop your name of your business. Drop what is it that you do? How do you help people right now? And not only that, if you do have a goal, drop your goals, because it could be someone else in here that can give you some kind of insight, some way to be able to move forward. And that's what most people do. They said the people usually, the best thing that we have is to start to research. Why do people buy books? Why they buy books? They buy courses, right? Because they're looking for a solution to be able to get them a little bit further. That's a part of the research that we do in our life and personal lives and in our business, so that we know which way and which direction to go. That doesn't mean you're doing exactly what they're doing, because it's still coming from within. It's coming from your purpose. So that's what I want to be able to share with you all today. Don't forget to write down what it is that you really, really want to achieve. And let's start to try to break those down into these little bite-sized little pieces that we can do. Taking action one day at a time. And what we can do now. Even there's some things some of y'all can be doing right now. I said the other day, some of y'all said, you know what, I need to be writing some emails, but I need to write a whole year worth of emails for my customers or clients. Well, the thing is, it sounds daunting, right? So you just keep putting it off. But the thing is, you can say, okay, I'm going to write the headlines today. Or I'm even just going to start gathering everybody's emails together. There's something that you can do every single day that helps us, especially for the things that look and feel so overwhelming. And believe me, you are not alone. Not at all. So don't feel like you're alone. Because, like I said, this world can make us feel like we're alone. Entrepreneurship can definitely make people feel like they're alone out here as well. But we're not alone, and we have to also be okay to share with one another where we are. And don't feel intimidated because you feel like somebody is a little bit further than you, right? Because we're all talented and we all have something to be able to give and share. So that's what I'm sharing with you all today. This is your girl, Sane Bate Mitchell, also known as Savvy Sane in these digital streets. I'm wanting to see all of you, each one of you all win, keep winning, and getting unstuck, move forward, and reaching these goals in life. So you can really, really experience whatever this happiness is. And guess who has to create it? You. It's all designed by you. And you can do it. We can do it. We are going to do it. So I won't hold y'all tonight. I know it's a little bit later than I usually try to go on. I'm so thankful and grateful for those who were able to jump in, and everyone who's watching the replay. Just put in there #replay. And don't forget, drop your goals, drop your name, drop your business. Let's connect, because you never know who's coming in and out of these places. Okay? So, love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Have an amazing week. Be prosperous and be fruitful in everything that you do. All right. Love you all. Good night. Oh, hi, Leslie. Thank you all for joining in. Classy Curves, Victory Voice, Angelina. Thank you all for joining in. Hi, Justice. And everyone in the other spaces, my YouTube, my LinkedIn people. I'm grateful for you all, because you didn't have to be here, but I'm grateful. So thank you and have a wonderful night.